Then obviously Man City went and battered Southampton 4-1. What standard? Didn't need
that sloppy first goal, man. Just opened the floodgates, man.
You know what? They played really well until they conceded that goal, and the goal came at the wrong time. Like you never want to concede just before half time. They were doing everything right, innit? Like frustrate. It was a bit like the Forest game when Man City went there. Like it's frustrating them, having the chances,
and then the blitz.
But then conceded.
So the blitz.
It was just bad, and that
was like you go minute by minute when you're watching it. Bro. Minute by minute, every tackle, you're like, yes, keep going.
It's the hope that kills.
As soon as I scored the first goal, I switched it off. As soon as he headed the ball, I was like, okay,
I'm not interested.
This game's done.
Second half, they just turned the screw, and it was just like.
And we always see. We're not even talking about the near misses, the ones that he's flashed past the post. Just long, bro. Morris, bro, that guy.
All of them, bruv, like.
Really just turned up.
I think since the World Cup, he scored 5 and assisted 13 or something like that since the World Cup. It's crazy.
I don't know why anyone ever doubted him. Grealish is a baller, man. Baller.
Took his time.
It's taken a while.
I think it's a price tag as well.
Yeah, man.
Like,
No, you know what it is? Being honest about it, you know what it is as well? I found that people talked about him like he was some young player. He's a year younger than Raheem or something. He's not a young player. So he's good. I just never saw the hype. That makes sense? Like people talked about like he was the next thing.
Grealish is older than Mitrovic.
Yeah, they'll be around the same.
If key stats correct about Mitrovic's age, then he's not a young player. Grealish is not a young player.
And like John and I said this in like conversations, we always thought, did Grealish elevate what City already have? And I don't personally think he has, but now he seems to have trying to join the levels of what's already there. Especially since the World Cup.
What I will concede though, I think we'll have to remember in football as well, is people, right? So if I'm Pep, how long is Raheem going to consistently do this for? All this time. That's why Pep does not... I don't think he actually has many favourites, right? Rodri plays every game because he has to, But he does not mess around to rotate you around. Starts. As soon as you're touching a certain level, you're playing.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva's, he had a season how he played and he was amazing for a year and then sat him down. So I think the way it would seem Pep looks at it is fine. He might not do more, but he's at this point now. He can come in and do that for 3 years. This guy's been doing it for a period of time. He might wane off. He gives me something slightly different, etc. And I think that's how he just moves the pieces around. And he's done it over the years. Just keeps doing it.
He does it with everyone. I remember one point he wasn't even playing Morris. Morris
exactly.
I was like, what's going on?
Exactly. Well, look at Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake couldn't get in the team.
Yeah.
Now he starts every week. So yeah.
And even like Cancelo. Cancelo was one of the best fullbacks in the league. And then
but
just him.
In football, it's well known, if Cancelo's not playing, it's peak for everybody. He does not take it well. That's why he left Juve. Apparently, again, one of those things, hindsight, everyone talks about it now, but it's well known in the football world. If he's not playing, it's long. He has to be, otherwise he's an absolute nightmare. He will be like, why am I not playing? I'm better than that guy. So even though he already had words with Nagelsmann.
Yeah, he did.
And he hadn't been there long. Yeah, he already had words with like, well, what do you mean I'm not playing?
Yeah.
So, and then he had to address it in a press conference.
And apparently they're not taking up the option to buy him. I think that might have been under Nagelsmann, so it might change under Tuchel, but
Was you not surprised? I was a little bit surprised with Pep's comments about Kyle Walker. To say that publicly, I was very surprised.
Don't ask me about Kyle Walker, bro.
I don't really. I know he can't do that role, and that I don't really think he's the great. I think he's a little bit overrated. But to actually come out in the press conference and say that, I was like, ooh.
Have you watched it though, or did you read it?
I just saw quotes.
Yeah, so I read the quotes and thought, raw. Then I remember two things. One is Pep. And two, when I saw it, he wasn't saying it in a mad way like, oh, he's rubbish or...
He's just saying that role.
He's just saying, look,
do that role.
The way I'm playing today, that role that player now needs to play, Kyle can't do that. He can do inverted fullback. We've done it many times. He can do it. It's great. And he's been a great player for us. And then the journalist tried to do a little... so he's like, oh, so what is it? A speed thing? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, if Carl is 64, he's still the fastest man in this room, right? But it's not just about speed. He just, as a player, he hasn't got what he needs to do that role, which is fair. And I think for foreign coaches, that level of transparency is normal, right? But when, I think in the UK, because everyone wants to be pragmatic and this and that until they retire and get on TV and they talk rubbish.
Taboo,
So whenever a foreign coach comes in and just says stuff, we're like, oh my God, but
Yeah, and I'm sure he would have had the conversation with Walker as well.
Definitely,
Like, it's not like that's the first time he's heard it.
Exactly.
It's not like he's at home going, oh. Kind of thing.
Because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I was disinterested by that. I was probably doing the dishes or something at that point of the game, but I'm pretty sure he switched to back four when Walker came. I said, Carl. When Walker came on, I'm pretty sure he switched. So they would have said it. They would have tried it in training, I'm sure. And he'd be like, look, when we play this way, you're cool. But whilst we're playing this way, you're going to have to come on and support the team. And right now, we're chasing for a title. This is the way we're going to deal with certain things. And my uneducated, non-coaching bad self, I reckon the switch and the change, he's just sharpening it because he feels that's the best way to combat the way we play. So when we meet up, obviously it's to win games, etc.
He wasn't ready and formulated.
Yeah, I think he's sharpening a way that then, because Arteta helped him formulate some of this stuff, he's helped Arteta grow. That is definitely a meeting of the minds, and then the meeting of the tools that they've both got at their disposal in terms of the players, right? So I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I do think that actually it's a sharpening, and then that way, he's gonna turn up and play.
It might even be for Bayern.
Back four.
It might even be for Bayern.
True.
So like that's a big game coming up. So.
But it makes sense, right? And you've got those two there. When Zinchenko comes in, and so it's gonna be interesting. But someone please just draw with them, please.